from the new recording lair located deep beneath the Wine and Spirit store in Ephrata, Pennsylvania.
You're listening to the Masonic Light Podcast.
Studio 665 presents Masonic Light Podcast. This show is recorded by Masons, for Masons. It is for entertainment purposes only. And please, no wagering.
This podcast is not endorsed by any Grand Lodge, and the ridiculous ramblings of the hosts are their own. And now, here's your host.
Brother Jack, the podcast is duly tiled.
So mote it be.
Yes. Hello, everybody. This is the Masonic Light Podcast, episode number 177.
The luckiest lucky number.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. That took me a while to get here.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So tonight's episode is brought to you by our sponsors, George J. Grove and Sons.
I saw George just yesterday, but I won't say where or when.
Okay. Hiram Solomon Cigars. Scott Helm Electric.
Yes.
Intermezzo by your wife, Stephanie. Two Pillars Apparel. I did that quickly again.
You did. You said it just right. It's almost like it's English.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I didn't know I could be a sponsor.
Yeah,
What?
you can.
Oh, absolutely can.
I'll tell you how in just a moment. As well as our fantastic Patreon supporters.
Oh, we love them.
You too can be a Patreon supporter for as little as
Say it with us. One freaking dollar.
For a single dollar.
One.
Just one.
Just one.
Just one. Unless you're in Canada.
It's super easy. Then it's
And I'll tell
it's
you
$1.32.
No, it's more than that. And I'm going to tell you about that in just a minute. So we do want to welcome our newest Patreon supporters, Cody Clark, Steve Perrin, Matt Goldsmith from Canada, which pays $1.50 a month.
You're welcome. I love that.
And
thank you, Matt.
And Jack Harley's credit card was good this month.
I got reinstated.
He was reinstated.
They think I'm a worthy credit risk.
So Jack's back in the fold. So our social media contacts, reach us anytime at masoniclightpodcast@gmail.com, X and Threads at Masonic Light, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram also.
So if you listen to the last episode,
Yes.
make note of those ways to contact us, because I would really love to hear thoughts from the general Masonic public about the last episode. I think it may be one of the most important episodes that we will ever put out in the air. I agree. It's that important. Go back and listen to it. There was some really good stuff put out there that's very applicable. It's easy to implement. Just give it a listen and let us know your thoughts.
And Jack never thought this would happen. In fact, last episode, go back and you will hear him say this will never happen. Tim posted the first of one of those symbols.
I didn't say it wouldn't happen. I said, what's the over-under on how many you're going to remember to do?
So it happened.
I think it was 6, if I'm not wrong.
All right, so one down. The first one was posted today.
All right.
And each of the next weeks we'll
props.
post another.
I thought about that when I saw it today.
Yep. And the idea behind it is we really would like to hear from you, because what it does is it takes a Masonic symbol that we're all familiar with, and then we ask the question, what does this symbol mean in your Masonic journey?
Discuss on it. Discuss on it in the comments. Just do it.
Say something in the comments.
Yeah, it's a very cool thing. And
how does it help make you a better person as a result?
How do you application
applicability. Applicability.
What was that?
Applicability.
Put your teeth back in.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Larry would say, "That's not a word." What was the word I said a few episodes ago? He didn't believe it was a word. He actually Googled it. Anyway, Larry is not with us tonight. We thought he was back from South Carolina.
Sorry, Larry.
He actually is back from South Carolina, but he brought some fungus or something with him. And so he's still on the disabled list for another episode. And so he'll join us again.
Come back and
soon.
play with us, Larry. We miss you.
Yeah, we do. So in studio tonight, I'm Tim. We also have Jack and Josh. And our special guest tonight is Brother Eric T. Downs, the District Deputy Grand Master of Masonic District Number 5.
Good evening,
in
brothers.
Pennsylvania.
Good evening.
It's good to have you with us.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I'm following Brian, so there's no pressure.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you've gone from, you just heard him say it was one of our greatest episodes.
Life-changing, I think
Yeah.
Jack said.
So
We
the bar's,
apologize in advance for this episode.
bar's not too high there.
Eric did have several head injuries in high school.
That's
So.
true.
I'm sorry, Eric.
But we do thank Eric for those 3D cards. And
You mean Brian.
Brian.
or Eric, Brian, Joe.
I'll take complete credit.
There
for
you
it.
go. There you go.
And Brian, just so you know, Eric wants a case of them.
Yeah.
So get to work.
We told you could be 100
I
Eric.
told you, man. We're getting requests for those.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jack, since our last recording,
Oh, geez. When was that?
2 weeks ago,
Hold on. Let me look at my
almost
thing.
2 weeks ago,
What
what have you been up to Masonically?
Carry
the one.
Good ritual education. Missed the state of meeting. Oh, I spoke at Dutchy Doug's lodge.
You did.
Lodge.
Broken plow.
It's DG. Sorry, lodge. In State College, and I was made to feel very welcome there. Nice guys. And
What'd you talk about?
Coming on the heels of that last episode, we talked about talking. I mean, it was around the foundation of my Holy Saints John, but the worshipful master, Doug, brought the lodge to order and read the minutes and paid the bills like you do at a typical meeting. And then I asked him to shut it down. And we shut it down, and everybody in the east went to the west and sat in a big circle. Not a circle. We didn't circle it up, but it's a small lodge. But just got everybody on the same side of the room, right? And started a conversation about symbols.
Yep.
And the core symbol was the Holy Saints John, but talk about symbols and how do you see them? And when do you see them? You see them all the time. You just don't even think you're seeing. You don't even realize you're seeing all the symbols that you're seeing. And all of them are sending a message to you that you should think a certain way. And, you know, the Masonic symbols we understand, or we think we do. But it was a very fun time. Good guys, very attentive group, and they made me feel very welcome, and I was excited to be there. So that's my big thing.
Excellent. Awesome. Josh.
I did the episode, of course.
Yay.
Not much beyond that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got some things coming up, though, on the back end we can talk about.
I do.
Yeah.
What?
All right. Brother Eric, how about you?
Yes, sir.
What's been going on in your Masonic world? As a district deputy, I'm sure not much.
Probably
Absolutely nothing. Now, as I tell my wife,
Moving right along.
as I tell my wife, it's one
Take a
night.
first
break.
I'll be home one night a month.
Right,
They're gone.
there you go.
But we, as a 5th district, we took a trip down to the White House.
Mm-hmm.
So in my spare time, I'm on the board of directors for the Brandywine Battlefield. So I got to know Chrissy Houlihan.
Okay.
And one of the brothers in our district said, why don't we go down to the White House? So I made a call down to Chrissy. I said, can you make this happen? It's 50 of my closest friends. She goes, you're a pain in the you-know-what, Eric. Let me see. She gets us a date on a Saturday. So I take 50 guys down. Now, as you know in Masonry, anything's like herding cats with these guys, right? Try to get 50 guys through Secret Service background checks. You can imagine how that went.
Oh.
And apparently, we all passed.
Okay.
So we went down. We got a tour on a Saturday. We line up to go in. We make it about halfway through getting in the White House. So there's 3 security checks going in, as you can imagine, to the White House.
Yep.
Well, there's always one guy.
Uh-huh.
So we have one guy in our group that puts the wrong name down from his ID.
I so wish it was JK. I so wish it was
I would have
JK.
paid $400 just to see the Secret Service tase JK
take
outside,
JK down.
outside of the White House. That would have been worth every dollar of mine to see that. So as I'm through the line, I hear the Secret Service go, who's in charge of your group? And I see him point to me, and she waves me back. So he puts down the incorrect name. So he gets bounced out. And of course, his name's Jose.
Oh, no.
So you can imagine everybody's laughing, right? He goes, are you serious? So he finds a bar across the street and has about 3 Bloody Marys as we make our way through the White House. But really cool tour. We made it nowhere near the West Wing. If you've ever been inside the White House, you're nowhere near. But self-guided tour, very cool experience.
Yeah.
We come back, then we go to the National Archives.
Ooh, that's cool, too.
We took a group tour in there. And if you've seen the Declaration lately, it's rough.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Really?
you can barely make out. I mean, you're lucky if you see John Hancock's signature left on there.
Wow.
And, the guides were telling us at the time, the 50th anniversary of that document, they made copies of it. Well, how do you make a copy back then? They wet the document and pulled off the ink. And it's barely there. The Constitution's in pretty good shape. But the Declaration's
Could you see
rough.
the underside of it?
I asked if I could see. I had a hair dryer and some lemons with us. On the back of the.
You are a scout.
Yes.
I knew you were a scout.
As we went through there, but great day of fellowship. We had guys all across the 5th District, so that was a really cool event that we did lately. And I, much like Jack, I opened my mouth. I took a trip to Freemasons Hall last year.
So it's my dream.
Which was wonderful.
I need to do that.
And I got a tour in there. So I went on my birthday, which is Independence Day.
Oh, my word.
Wow.
So I get in there and I said, it's great for you guys to be open today. I know how big of a holiday this is for you guys.
The insurrection day,
really,
right?
you're starting already? You're going through. But I put together a presentation based on that. So I opened my mouth on our passport group and I said, if anybody's looking for a speaker, I'd be happy to come to you and do this. Well, I think I'm on my 8th one I did last evening. So anybody looking for a speaker, I'll travel for cigars.
There you go.
We've talked about doing a Masonic Light podcast trip or something.
Have smokes, we'll travel.
Yes.
The car.
Have you
Freemasons
seen?
Hall might be it.
There's a friend of mine sent me this document. There's a walking tour of Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've done that.
Have you
done
seen
that.
that with the Masonic sites? That's on my list.
Yep. I've
That's
done
on
that.
my list.
Excellent. It's worth it.
With stops along the way.
Wear comfortable shoes. Yeah. All right. So just to pinpoint a couple of things that I've been doing, the Big Valley of Harrisburg had its reunion. Great time was had by all. I think all of the valleys right now as well are struggling to get new members, as our Blue Lodges are. And I think those are kind of come hand in glove.
Yeah.
We've got to figure out a way.
We've got to stop trying to figure it out and just do what we're supposed to.
Well, that's it. We really just got to do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, I'm in the Valley of Philadelphia, and the Spring Reunion was definitely light.
If we would just live the words that we purport to live by, there'd be a line at the door.
Right.
Sorry.
Exactly. No, you're right. But anyway, so we had a great time. We have new stewards, and so some awesome meals and some great degree work. I'll tell you all during a commercial break. One of the coolest things I can't say that on the air.
When they can't hear us?
No. I want to share something with you that happened. Really, really cool.
But wait, the listeners will or will not hear it?
Listeners will not hear.
Okay, so
Nah.
Okay.
There you go. See me privately at any of our events that we go to, and I'll talk to you about it. I'm not putting this out on the interwebs. I think we've gone, 7 years without a letter, so I'm not breaking that streak tonight.
Challenge accepted.
I'm not breaking that streak tonight. All right, what's it say at the top of the board over there, Jack?
I don't know. What are you talking about? Don't mess with the formula.
That's it. We got
That's
the
not
formula.
really what it says, but
know.
it's close.
It's close enough. All right, so did that. Jack and I were at Cigar Lodge number 1 on Sunday. Cigars International.
There it is.
And so I get there, it starts at 2, and so I get there about 10 of, and I'm walking around, and I run into the Grand Smoke, who's having them put together a box for him, and run into Jack Brobst, and so we make our way upstairs into the crazy room that we have there. Jack comes in, and we're sitting here, and he's like, there's some guys outside. I said, no, I didn't know that. So he goes, I'm going out there.
Well, it wasn't quite that instantaneous, but continue.
After 3/4 of a cigar.
Yeah.
And so, I'm texting Jack, are there any seats out there? Yeah. Okay. So we go out there, and there's another 20 guys out there. Screw
There was
the
a
inside
whole
room.
nother cigar lodge.
Yeah.
Out on the balcony. The sky was
It was
blue.
beautiful.
It
It
was
was like
beautiful.
84
my
degrees. And so, I go in and tell the Grand Smoke, hey, There's another group outside. I'm going out there. Of course, he sends me with the money jug.
Yep.
And we collected money for the
And his hat.
Grandmaster's
I
charity.
came back in later, and there were 2 guys left in the room, and I'm like, there's actual oxygen out on the
Outside.
porch outside, and they're like, oh, we don't need that.
But I don't know about you. We left about the same time. We were there for quite a while. That was a lot of fun. The weather was great. Fellowship was awesome.
It's a couple hours. We had a fantastic mix of people. We had people from mushroom herders to the Thin Blue Line.
Right.
I mean, we had everybody there, and the old guy. There were old guys and young guys, and it was the heart of Masonry. And no, it was not an affinity lodge, but damn it, it could have been.
Or an infinity lodge.
Anyway,
Anyway.
no, we're gonna let.
I
that,
still
we're
haven't
just
made
gonna
it
let
up there.
that joke go.
Really?
I still have not made it up there
Wow.
for Ed.
Okay.
You
Where is
probably
it?
would-
Hamburg?
You'd only.
Yeah.
Well, it's. I'm not sure you'll see it at Hamburg very often anymore.
Yeah, they've kind of
They just
outgrown it.
outgrown that space.
The room is like this size.
Yeah.
And you get 30 guys in there,
And you're smoking 29 other
you're
cigars.
smoking 29 cigars when you're
Yeah.
smoking one. So
I mean, the place overall is great. I love CI, but it for a group as big as ours,
So the next one will be at the Grand Lodge Quarterly. If you're going to be in the Erie area, make sure you stop by. And
Eric,
sure-
you
I
gonna
don't
be
have
out
a
there?
choice.
You don't have a
Eric?
choice.
I do not have a
I don't
choice.
either. I'll be there. But cigars are coming with me, so make sure you seek us out, and come see me. I don't know, Jack. Are you going up?
I'm not going to Erie because
Okay.
I am going to Johnstown the following week.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Which is another cool place.
I've been requested to attend at
a little-
Johnstown.
a little closer than Erie from here. Anyway, come see me. We'll do a little bit. If you want to do a quick interview or something with us, we'll get you recorded. That'd be great. Eric and I'll maybe interview you together or
Nice.
something. That'd be fun.
We'll tag you.
All right. So let's take a break, and we're going to come back with our special guest, Eric Downs.
Why choose George J. Grove & Sons for your next home improvement project? At George J. Grove & Sons, we've built our reputation on quality and trust for more than 50 years. For planning to materials to installation, George J. Grove promises a home improvement experience second to none. Whether your goal is reducing energy costs, decreasing maintenance, updating curb appeal, or simply increasing the value of your home, the George J. Grove team will recommend and provide solutions that stand the test of time. Call 717-393-0859 for an estimate or visit us at georgejgrove.com.
And he says, and go. So we're going. Hi, welcome back.
Huzzah.
We're here with our
Who is he?
Our friend,
Who?
our friend and former ally,
What's his name?
King David.
What's his name?
No, wait, no, that was a different guy. Eric Downs is with us, District Deputy Grand Master of Masonic District 5, who, in no ultimate modesty, has the license plate.
Oh, you're going to add
I'm
this
not
too.
even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it.
You know the beating I took.
Yeah. And you should. And you should. Because come on now.
Now, look.
I'm so modest. Oh, I'm just Eric from nowhere. And yeah, okay.
Look, there's a story behind this.
No longer applies. There's no out for this. Anyway, as you can tell, we love Eric. He's a great guy. He's doing absolutely magnificent things in Masonic District 5, even though his license plate doesn't say that.
Hey, Larry.
Exactly.
Ask him a question.
Shut up. So, anyway, I don't have to because we answered all the questions at the Great Praetorium, and now we have no further questions. So, anyway, welcome, Eric. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
being
Brother
with us
Jack.
today.
Awesome.
So, tell us everything.
Well, let me start with that license plate, because the amount of grief I took over this when I came over. There's a story behind it.
That's on you.
There's a
if you wanna
story
give up your
behind
license
this.
plate. All right.
I got beat up. I said, "Get it out of your system, guys!" As I came on, get it out.
My word. All
So,
right.
brother Harry Hackman started this,
Oh, good for Harry. I love Harry.
and it's been passed down to every deputy since him. Gary Dukeman, Craig Schaefer, and myself.
The license plate. Has passed down. Okay, now I can get behind.
So there's
that.
a history,
I
and
can
that's what.
absolutely get behind
And I
that.
said this to Craig Schaefer. I went, "I'm not a vanity tag kind of guy," and he says, "Well, then you're going to stop this tradition that's going on for 20 years." I said, "Well, then put the thing on my car. I'll
Just
take the beating."
stab me
I'll
in the
take
heart.
beating. So yeah.
So Eric's doing, I don't know, a tremendous amount of travel in the 5th Masonic District that you've organized. I know I've gone with your district down to Arlington. You've been to Washington, D.C. You guys are doing some great stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing and how that got happened.
Well, and we're bringing back, so Brother Chris Gibson,
Yes.
started the Masonic Invasion
Yes.
years ago.
I was an early part of that. I was an early adopter.
And we brought that back the last couple years.
Yeah.
So we've been going down. We've gone to Harmony Lodge in Maryland. We've been traveling to Delaware. And when we go, we're bringing 30, 40 guys at a time.
That's amazing.
Which the lodges show up, and they know my sense of humor. I say I'm bringing like 25 of my closest friends, and they go, yeah, right. This guy's probably showing up with 5 guys. And then I show up with 40 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing degree work. We're getting a full lodge room, but also guys in our district, they're getting to see degree work outside of our jurisdiction.
That's the best.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. What happened there, Josh?
What do you mean?
No headphones.
No headphones. I hear it.
Whoa, we can't hear.
Did you pay the electric bill?
I didn't do anything. I'm over here.
And that was a wonderful intermission.
There you
And we're back.
go. Again.
And we're back again. And thank you. Did you go to the lobby and get some snacks?
We jinxed ourselves on this.
I know, but anyway. So I don't know how far back. That's intermittent again. That's intermittent again.
Yeah, I got you now, Jim.
All right,
Yeah,
we're
it's
good.
back.
What the hell?
Yeah, I'm back, but it ain't happening. Anyway, so
Yes, sir.
what's your name again?
Doctor.
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 Doctor who?
I'm glad I'm not sick.
So anyway, Eric Downs.
Yes, sir.
You've been doing some fantastic Masonic travel. You started telling us about that. Please continue.
Thank you, Brother Jack. Yeah, we're blessed where we live in southern Chester County. We're 20 minutes to Delaware, 20 minutes to Maryland. So we've developed some really close relationships with a couple lodges down there. Harmony Lodge being one down in Maryland.
I noticed you didn't mention New Jersey because there's another bridge that goes over there.
No, the armpit.
Is
No,
it?
we don't go.
Oh!
I think there was a wreck that knocked that bridge out for a while, right?
Let the letters be sent to P.O. Box. We don't care. Thank you.
Care of Craig Schaefer.
Oh, my goodness. So anyway, Delaware and Maryland, they're the best.
And
Yeah.
we've been going down there. And if you've never seen one of their degrees, they're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Especially their second degree,
Second.
which has the middle chamber lecture in there.
Yes.
So I brought a group of guys down. We
And the
brought 40
staircase.
guys down, yes, which is
Very
a
good.
beautiful lecture, about 20 minutes, almost a mini degree within that in that degree. So we've created a great relationship. I have a guy in our 5th district. He's a industrial arts teacher. So he's made us Masonic travel, these wooden plaques. So I come down on a Masonic invasion. We drop one of these off. Say, 5th district has come down here. We've marked our territory. Now it's time for you to return the favor. So we're getting them now traveling back. And if I bring 30, the challenge is you got to bring more guys back to the 5th.
Oh, that's great.
And creating
That's
this
great.
really cool kind of relationship going
that's-
back and forth down
That's
there.
fun stuff.
And yeah, Delaware, if you know the Grandmaster Don Rosenberry.
I don't know the Grandmaster of Delaware. I have met the Grandmaster of Maryland.
He was Grandmaster when I was Worshipful Master, and his sister-in-law lives right in Kennett.
Ah.
And we've developed a great relationship. When I did the Brandywine Battlefield degree, that was his first official visit as Grandmaster. He came to the Battlefield degree.
Cool. Oh, nice.
So he sat in the East and he goes, "Were you nervous?" I said, "Not for you, because you don't know this. I'm all those old grumpy past masters staring at me, hanging on every word. And you speak of Brother J.K. March." So I just delivered an entered apprentice degree in front of 150 people. So I'm puckered up like watertight, right? He comes to me at the end of the degree and he goes, "You missed one word and you took your gloves off too early at the altar."
I gotta love JK.
I said, "If that's all I did, that's a good night. That's a good night."
So in language that he would understand, declare victory and go home.
Amen.
Right.
And I went. and we've created this great relationship. And so we go down to his home lodge, which is Lafayette Lodge in Delaware. And again, we've just developed this kind of...
Yeah, that's great.
So we did... into Kennett Lodge. I had a brother in our district, and God, he's still breaking my chops on this one. He gets certified in the fellowcraft degree. So I challenged him. I said, "All right, you're certified. Now confer it." Mm-hmm. "I don't know if I can do this." I said, "Yes, you can. Do it in our lodge." He's a member lodge. What I neglected to tell him was the Grandmaster of Delaware and 50 other brothers were coming up for a meeting that night. So I let him know about 3 days before.
No pressure at all.
And he delivered a beautiful fellowcraft degree.
Wow. Yeah, you're lucky.
But
that could have gone very badly.
Don't mind all this purple. You're fine. Just go with it. And I said, remember, these guys do not know our work. Just lay it down.
Yeah. So, again, another travel item that you guys did in District 5, myself and Jay Lammy, who was a recent guest here on the show, went up to you to Garibaldi Lodge. Went up with you to Garibaldi Lodge, and that was a great time. Thank you for organizing.
What a great experience.
I've never been to Garibaldi Lodge. Have you seen? You've seen other degrees there?
I went right after it opened up after COVID. Mm-hmm. We went up, so it was nowhere near the crowd that we had there.
That room was packed.
It was, and they manhandled. They were gentler this time on their candidates. Right. When we went, there's poor entered apprentice guys. They were just manhandling those guys.
I understand, without giving too much away, I understand the third degree is an event worth participating in. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen it first now, but I'd love to see a third.
I would love to go back up there. Yeah. I'm still getting grief. When we got called in, the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania, we didn't have to wait in line.
Yeah. Oh, that was the best. That was the best. We're outside of the Grand Lodge of New York, right? We're standing on, was it 6th Avenue or something like that?
We're wrapped around the building.
We're wrapped around the building where this giant mob of men in suits. It was fantastic. And then all of a sudden, somebody comes up and says, "Hey, Pennsylvania, come on." And we're like, "What?" And we're like, "Yeah, come on in. Come on." And we skipped past
bypassed
500 other people on the sidewalk. If you were one of them, I'm so not sorry.
Oh. I was getting booed at. The guys from Delaware. I gave him a little bow as I went by.
Eric does this little curtsy.
My little curtsy as I went by. And we had great seats right by the altar.
Oh, it was fantastic.
They gave us just...
But I respect the seats that we were in. I loved it. It was great. It was very cool. But the seat to be in is front row of the balcony.
Yeah.
So if you go to Garibaldi, slip somebody a 20, all right? You know what I'm talking about, right? And get front row of the balcony, because that view looking down on what's happening is incredible.
When we went a couple years back, this time we brought Rob Brink.
Oh, geez.
So we brought the Deputy Grandmaster this time, James Hamby, the Deputy Grandmaster of Delaware. But when I went last time, I was the highest ranking member of Pennsylvania. So they had us line up by state, and I had to get vouched for everybody that was in line with me. So I had to get, look at their dues card. So a gentleman comes over and he says, "Give me the password."
Uh-oh.
And I look him dead in the eye and I go, "Gabagool." He goes, what did he just say? and he walks over, and the next thing I know, the Grand Master of New York comes over, and I thought, well, it's been a good run. I've been deputy for 6 months. This is my time. And he just gave me the biggest hug and just gave me. He just said gabagool's the password.
That's funny.
That's great. But yeah, I would definitely recommend going up there.
Yeah, it's a great. If you have an opportunity, if you hear somebody putting a bus together, it's really nice to go in with a bunch of people, because then you've got a crew.
They drop us off right around the corner.
Yeah, they drop us right there. She was there when she picked. She was fantastic, by the way.
Boy, could she drive that bus?
She was
fantastic.
She was amazing. She got around some corners that I was like, nah, we'll get out and pick the bus up and move it over a little bit. But she threaded on a one-way street. There were 2 cars double parked on both sides and somebody coming at us. And she got between us. There wasn't a layer of chrome between our bus and the doorknobs.
It was like the movie Speed with Keanu Reeves.
She was great.
Wow. Yeah, she was fantastic.
But what I will say, like ritual-wise, because we are Masons and we're talking about that kind of stuff, the Deputy Grand Master, who is with us for that trip, was invited to sit in the East, right? And he did the right signs, and not that I would expect any different, but if you're traveling, and we talked about this on 2 episodes ago, I think, if you're traveling, do your Pennsylvania work. Don't try to fake it and do what they do there. You are a Pennsylvania Mason. You do you, right?
Amen. When we go down to Delaware and Maryland, I say they're going to give you the do guard. We're going to do our song.
Yeah, you do you.
We'll do Pennsylvania.
They do them, and that's all for that, and that's okay. And it was kind of prideful because when he did it, you could kind of hear the room ripple a little bit, like, oh,
He
what
forgot
was
to
that?
do that.
Oh, them Pennsylvania guys. Those Pennsylvania guys.
Right. So it was kind of funny, but it was great. So do you have any plans coming up? Any other trips that I can get on the list for?
Yeah, we've Jack. So we're blessed in the 5th District. The owner of Craft Buses is a Mason out of the 5th Masonic District.
Nice.
That's cool.
So that's how we get these buses at such a cheap price.
Does he have any relatives in Lancaster?
Get on the list, Jack. I'm trying to be his son. But he gives us all these. So we're going to Gettysburg October 12th.
Awesome.
Which is a Saturday. Getting a tour of the battlefield with the registered tour guide. And one of the beautiful, beautiful things about this Masonic fraternity is how you meet. As I travel, I've met so many men these last couple of years being district deputy. When we did the battlefield degree, a brother from Gettysburg contacted me, and he wanted to come to the battlefield, but money was a little tight. I said, tell you what, I'll give you 3 tickets on me. Come down to the battlefield. Sharing the fellowship. Sure. Come down. Don't worry about it. It's on me. So he sees on Facebook, I put together this trip to Gettysburg. I made a little blip in there. We'll pack a lunch. We'll eat somewhere. And he says, absolutely not. You're going to come to my lodge in Gettysburg. We're going to have a cookout for you and all of these brothers as a thank you for what you did for me and the guys.
Is that Matt?
Jed,
Newmaster.
Next year. Okay.
And just what a wonderful guy. He goes, do you have a minute? I gave him a call and I said, are you sure? Like, I'm bringing 50 guys and we're all big boys. Like, we can throw down some food. Are you sure? You offer something like that.
I've been on that bus.
Yeah, you better get a couple cows.
It rode low. Yeah, we did.
But we're going to go to the tour. We're going to go to his lodge, have
right.
lunch, and come back. So we've got that coming up. You know me, I'm always working on something.
I'd like a head count on the number of people who actually take the chairlift up to the 2nd floor. Just put that in your pocket and let me know how many people actually ride
over-under.
the chairlift. Yeah, the over-under is 1.
Right.
Okay.
To get up.
Everybody sees that one and goes, I ain't doing that.
No, that's a scary-looking chairlift right there.
We do a ladies' night every year, and there's a local vineyard out where I grew up, and this is our 3rd year doing this, and we usually have 100, 110 people there. It's become a really cool event. So we have that June 7th out in Paradox. Paradox Vineyard, 25 a person.
With an X.
With an X, yeah. There's 2 doctors that found it, Paradox. They're doing it. But we started this, as I became deputy, my wife, who I love to death, they cornered me on my deck. We're having a cookout, and a bunch of wives from my home lodge. I said, you need to start doing some more stuff for the ladies.
Great.
And after getting pecked,
That's a great problem to have.
after getting pecked to death like by a bunch of ducks, it felt like, no, I love you, Chrissy. No, I said absolutely. I said,
He's on his own there. Yeah, I'm sorry.
What do you guys want to do?
Not backing you up on this one, Rob. No, love you, but no.
And we started this, and it's become like just a great event.
That's great
for us. So we've got that coming up, kind of going into the summer break.
So you've taken the just do stuff message to heart.
Wave the
you're
flag.
Just doing stuff.
Amen.
Yeah, right.
Amen.
So you've been a district deputy now for 3 years.
This is my third year.
Okay. So I'm guessing that the 5th Masonic District wasn't always doing these kinds of things.
No, I started this when I was at Kennett Lodge.
Yep.
I started doing some bus trips there, and we were getting a lot of guys from the district to kind of come along.
Yep.
And our district, we were 10 lodges, basically.
The War of the World spaceship has landed again.
Yeah, we were 10 lodges, kind of doing their own thing.
Yep.
Cheers. And I think, since one of the things I wanted to focus on, and we're really getting there, is we're 10 lodges, but we're one district.
Right.
And we're doing a lot of stuff at that district level. And I've got a great district. These guys come out and support me to no end. We're going. It's crying.
So how did you, as a new deputy 3 years ago, inheriting a district that this wasn't a custom, you'd done this as a master, how did you get it started in this district that these other lodges who weren't accustomed to what was going on in your lodge?
Yeah. I mean, it was a cultural change. It really was, to get the guys involved. Like, we had a mentality, a very silo approach to the 5th District. Yep. But one of the first things I did was I met with all the officers when I came in. And I said, what do you guys want to do? Novel, right? Like, what do you guys want to do? Here's kind of...
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Yeah, and they kind of looked at me, and I said, well, here's kind of the things we've done, getting the approach going. But it's getting these guys out, getting them involved. And one of the big things I did a district, a lodge newsletter, which I then incorporated into a district newsletter. And it goes out. It's interactive. We've got video. We got links to trips, to articles. And it goes out to about 1,400 guys. And I start putting that out. And I saw guys, and what's a great thing with this software, Constant Contact, I can see who opens it, who reads it, the amount of clicks.
Sure.
I'm getting like a 70% open rate on this thing. But
so are you sending it out as a district?
Yeah, and I'm the one that kind of creates it, puts the content in, the pictures. But I created this. I use this in my own business, Constant Contact, and I then incorporated it into here. So that was kind of the first step to raise that level of communication within our district. If you don't know, you can't get it, right?
Right.
So
Jack's on there, I think.
I
think I blast you with that.
I get your stuff, and I go, right? I went to Arlington. I went to Garibaldi, and because
you're an unofficial member of the 5th Masonic District.
As soon as you posted that Garibaldi trip, I was probably one of the first 25 people to
and the guys eat it up. It goes within about 48 hours.
It's the best, but it's you have to do that kind of stuff, and you have to keep doing it. Otherwise, it loses its mojo, and everything just drops off.
Like I really shoot every quarter to do something.
Yeah, and that's reasonable, right?
Like once a quarter.
Yeah, because you get much more than that, and it's too much.
And guys are busy.
Yeah.
We did a degree at the Masonic Temple this past March.
That's fun.
Raised a brother in there, went up there. A lot of guys had never been up there.
Which room?
The Egyptian room.
They always put you in the Egyptian room.
It's the best
I said to
one.
guys, can you imagine what an introduction you bring, being raised in that room?
Yeah.
And we had probably 60, 70 guys come up for that.
Yeah.
Sharing the fellowship, go to Reading Terminal, and then we got a private tour of the. But we're looking for something, and like a challenge to me is going into my third year, continuing to find those events.
Well, yeah.
And not, retread them, if you would.
So have lodges picked up on some of this enthusiasm and started to host some things themselves?
And that's really what it was. My goal was for it to start trickling down, going like, all right, I don't want to say set the model, but I'll lead here. But guys, you need to get this down there. And I would say out of the 10 lodges, probably 5 or 6 of them have really picked it up. And a couple of them are really leading.
So within a district, if they share that among the other lodges, then even though it's sponsored by an individual lodge, it in essence becomes a district event.
And a perfect example, this past weekend, Westchester Lodge did their spring social.
Yep.
And we had probably about 70, probably 20, 30 were members of the 5th District outside of their lodge. And they brought it back for the first year. And I said, look, the first time you do this, it's always your challenge. Then it becomes the second year. We'll grow it. I think next year we'll probably have it at a larger venue. I think we'll probably have over 100 or more people there. Because you see the pictures. Wives are invited, kids. They could just...
The tricky part is long-term continuity.
Yep.
And keeping it up, because it's a hamster wheel. And there's the guys that were real excited and were running real hard on the hamster wheel have gotten off the hamster wheel. And it's the next generation. It's not even the next generation. It's the generation after that. It's not master and wardens. Those guys are kind of a team. It's the guys that are coming up behind them that are bringing a completely different vibe to the chair. And that's fine. It's their right. But you'll lose a lot of that momentum. So how do you? I mean, you haven't been there long enough to really.
No, but it's
really
a thought. I mean, as I'm going into my third year, I'm going,
Yeah.
how do I build this so it's sustainable for the guy that comes behind me?
Right.
Maybe they don't have the ability or the technological ability to write that newsletter. How do you keep that? I get calls.
That's a skill set, right? You got to find somebody with that skill
who
set
can do that.
cares.
And my wife always says you could have a second career as like a Masonic tour guide. I love it.
Oh,
I'm passionate about. It's not work to me. That's fun.
I would, yes.
I love doing that.
I'd love to be a docent at the Grand Lodge. I'd be a docent.
Yeah.
I take the train in once or twice a week. That'd be awesome.
And as I said to the guys, I go, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. My RPMs run at about 7,000 RPMs.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but you redline at 9, so it's okay. It's okay.
No, but you're right. It's how do you sustain this for the long term? And you build stuff in there that I can hand off.
That's we talked before the session here, the recording tonight. We talked at dinner about lodge membership engagement and how that has to be a permanent thing. It has to change the DNA of your lodge. You can't just do it once and done. There's no
to me,
fix.
everything stems from engagement.
Yeah.
We talk about the development, the involvement. It all goes back to that. Create the environment. The guys will come out for it.
Yeah.
But
I've got a lot of people though that are talking to me. In fact, I had one this afternoon call me and he listened to the last episode, and you know Brian Maddox.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is he in your district?
No, he's not.
No,
but I've worked on
but
him
he's
with
in
some
the
of the lodge
region.
audit. Yeah,
because I was at a regional meeting that he was at. But this guy from my lodge called me. And he's like, "Yeah, when Josh says that's what I thought I was joining, that's what I thought I was joining," and we're not there yet. But the cool thing is, we're poised for it. We're ready for it. I think you're starting to turn that.
we're moving there.
To
yeah,
turn
you
the
can
boat,
feel it.
you know?
You can feel it.
You were using the boat analogy at dinner about if I can just turn that boat 5 degrees.
We're a massive cargo ship in the middle of the ocean. Just get it turned.
It's tough. It's
Get
tough,
it
and
turned.
it takes every lodge trying to get it to turn, and it's a difficult momentum thing. Tim's lodge is doing a great job of it. Even Josh's lodge is doing a great job. I mean, your lodge is doing a lot of social stuff now. You don't talk much about it here, but it's they're doing a lot of social stuff within our district, and your district is just off the chart as far as
I challenged them the last couple of years. I said, get involved in your local community.
Yes.
Find one thing.
Yeah.
Support it. We have the Kennett Food Cupboard. There's a garage, which is a youth center we raise money for every year. I said, find one
big thing, right?
Yep.
One big thing.
and get your face out there.
Yep.
And get known. And so just organically, because Kennett Lodge is out there, the blood drives we're doing, all this, the pancake breakfast we've been doing for 50 years, we just attract members. For a small lodge, we bring in 8-9 guys a year, which is great.
Yeah, but you're killing 12 of them, so I don't know how that works.
I did not give them permission to die. Your deputy did not give you. Yeah, that's the frustrating part.
Stop that.
That's the
kind of
frustrating
thing.
part when
I
you
mean,
still
really.
have a 2-member loss when you bring in 8 guys.
It's and that's tough because you see the numbers, and you're doing a good job. You're getting 8 or 10 guys in, and then you're looking at the other side of this equation, and we've all talked about our lodges and our districts among us. We're not suspending for non-payment of dues for that many.
No,
There are some places that are much higher. But it can get frustrating to see that net number continuing to drop.
But it's dropping at a slower rate.
The
right?
rate?
The line has changed.
Yeah, it really has. But still, it's when you consider the percentage of our members across the age bands, we're still dealing with the post-World War II growth, and we will for the next several years. And we've just got to keep on keeping on and plow our way through that.
And my background with data analysis, I have spreadsheets on everything. So I know the average age of our district is
That's a little scary.
Is 66. And yes, Jack, you're
what
in
kinds
there.
of things do you have spreadsheets on?
The average age is 66 in the 5th Masonic District.
Which has got to be down by 5 at least from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that about right?
We're bringing
Is that
in,
about right?
and
Yeah.
I'm looking at, so I slice it by the members that we brought in last year, and the average age of those guys are in like the low 40s, late 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an encouraging movement,
Well,
right?
think about it. You're married. You got a kid or two. You got a mortgage, a car payment. You are you're the strength, right? You're the Doric.
And that was me. I came in at 37.
Yeah.
That was me.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why we're here. And that's what's exciting about this time in Masonry is we're starting to address that again, that period of life.
And I listened to a talk. A gentleman was talking about metrics. Now he's talking about the Grand Lodge of England.
Right.
But he truly believes that we're in the trough right now and we're coming out. He thinks we're poised for growth.
I don't care.
And I said, but listen, in a very optimistic approach to Freemasonry. I can feel it in our district.
I'm absolutely optimistic.
Yeah.
I don't care about growth. I want engagement. I want people who need to go to lodge.
Give me 30 engaged guys versus 120. Amen. I'll conquer the world. I'll conquer the world.
If it's the day and you look at the calendar and you look at your wife and you go, I have to go to lodge. Because you have to go to lodge, right? Because you need it. Because it gives you a juice that you can't get.
I get rammy when I
else.
don't go to lodge.
I do so much outside of lodge, and I don't mean to sound like Brian again, because we're all going to measure ourselves against Brian Maddox now. So Brian, we hate you for that. But,
Thank you, Brian.
But we love you anyway. but no, it's I think we're at a point, right? And I think you are leading the 5th District in a terrific direction.
Well, I appreciate
on the
it.
fellowship side.
I can feel it.
But you're also doing it on the ritual side.
Yeah, it's trickling
Tell us
down.
about the ritual side.
It's
What's going
trickling
on there?
down. So when I came in as district deputy, a couple things I really wanted to focus on. One of them was our officer lines and the development and getting the work done. We had been, I call it, in a pretty bad rut for a few years. We hadn't got guys getting certified in the 3rd for years. And one of the things that we do while we're off for the summer, we get together every Tuesday, either at Kennett Lodge or my house, smoke some cigars, sharing the fellowship, but getting guys learning that work. And we had 7 or 8 guys last year who joined us, and every single one of them got certified coming back from our break at the fall school. And we had 4 or 5 guys get certified in a Master Mason degree last year, which was a huge win. And we're probably looking at more than that this year.
How stoked does that make you feel?
Oh, I'm like a proud father.
Not that it's your responsibility or your fault, but you encouraged it and it's happening, and that's an exciting thing.
Because most of our lodges had that 1 or 2 guys who conferred that Master Mason degree. And if they got hit by the bus, we were toast.
We saw it in our lodge. One of our newer generation, we'll call them, I don't know, Generation Lambda, maybe. I don't know. Some Greek letter. Anyway,
The Revenge of the Nerd.
So one of our one of our masters learned the 3rd degree, and it's almost as if that just relieved all of the rest of them from the responsibility of learning it. We're like, no. Everybody has to learn it. You need all 3. You really should have all 3. So we're back on a much better track in that respect. But it's hard.
And we get 4 or 5. Now I got to look to the next 4 or 5.
Right.
Wait, Josh is making hand signals, throwing gang signs.
Did he just do?
It's like
He has a union
gang
guaranteed break.
Break it coming.
Is this a gang sign? What is that? That's like
That's a 5th Masonic District official.
that's like a hexagon, right?
Right.
That's a hexagon sign.
So we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with
What?
our
How did
guest.
you know, Tim? What?
See, I can read the symbology.
Oh man.
We'll be right back.
Looking for a way to show your Masonic pride and affiliation, but also want to have a relaxed look? Two Pillars Apparel is a Masonic-owned company that incorporates sports apparel with Freemasonry. Check out their current lines from Blue Lodge, as well as the appendant bodies York and Scottish Rite. Two Pillars Apparel is always adding new designs and items. Check in today to get a baseball or hockey jersey, or one of their new Scottish Rite lapel pins or hoodies. Two Pillars Apparel works for lodge social functions or going to the game. Visit them at twopillarsapparel.com. That's TWO, pillarsapparel.com.
What?
And we're back, folks.
Now where are you going? Now where are you going, Josh?
Hey, Jeff.
That's all I got.
You're driving, man. You brought us back. Now you're driving. There are no rights without responsibilities.
And Jack.
Well, it's unfair for me because I'm an Eric fanboy, so I'll throw it over
Jack.
to Tim, who can ask an objective question.
So before the break, we were talking about kind of the trends and stuff that we were looking at. And as in most episodes, we have some great segments offline. Let's talk a little bit about those trends and what we need to be paying attention to and what we need to say, hey, that's just part of the normal place we are. From your perspective, when you see these numbers, again, you're seeing 20 and 30 deaths a year. You're seeing 6 or 8 new members coming in.
Yep.
What do you do with that?
Oh, boy. Well, one of the things I started looking at as deputy was the suspensions we're doing for non-payment of dues. And I wanted to understand a little bit more.
Yep.
Who are these guys? And when are we losing them?
Deadbeats.
Yeah. And
Sorry. What?
we really went after them in the 5th District these last couple of years. And we're down, I think we're down to about maybe 50 this year across 10 lodges. But
When you say went after them, or what are you saying here?
Oh,
Wait.
I went knocking on doors. I went knocking on doors.
Yeah?
And Kennet Lodge, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. The guys laugh when I was secretary at Kennet Lodge. I suspended one guy in 4 years. But what I did was I stayed in contact with these guys throughout the year. I called them 3-4 times a year. But I'd be out showing houses, and I would have a list of the guys who still owe dues. And I'm like, I think he lives around here. I'd give him a call. And he would go, oh, Eric, I know I owe my dues. I said, tell you what.
They know where you live.
I'm 5 minutes away. Have a check ready. He goes, are you serious? I said, no, I'm dead serious. Have a check ready. So he'd laugh. He goes, what are dues? I said, 125. But since you made me drive out here, 25 goes to the Almoners Fund. And when he goes, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. So I really went after these guys.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And God, but looking at our trends, I wanted to say, at what point are we losing these guys?
Mm-hmm.
Are they new Masons? What are the ages? And really kind of what jumped out at me, we're losing these guys around that 10-year mark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Seems to be where a lot of them. So, hey, we're reaching out to guys we haven't heard from in a while. Make the calls. Reach out to these guys.
So why are we losing them at 10?
Why 10? Yeah.
Like that seems to be, it just, man, and it's pretty darn consistent over, I pulled it for the last 6-7 years. That seems to be the marker. I don't know if they've come in or I'm paying my dues, fine. At this point, I haven't been back to lodge.
I put $1,000 into this, and
I'm looking. I'm
buckets,
not going to come back, and I've been in it for 10 years. I'm 40 years old. I'm not coming back. So I said to these guys, one, we should be calling everybody, not just at dues time. That just rubs me the wrong. You hear from them once a year when you're calling to beat them up that you owe dues. Check in with these guys.
Right.
Call them a couple times a year. Now, I know, that's kind of my background, what I enjoy doing, but I said reach out to these guys. But Especially invite them out. We've got all these activities. See if we can get them back. But
you actually like people.
I did until I got into real estate. I used to consider myself a people person until you work with the general public. But now I enjoy the call. But I don't go after the deuce. Hey, brother, how you been? Just checking in with you. How are you doing?
Right.
They'll usually get there. Oh, I know I haven't paid, but I really want to kind of target those guys you haven't seen in a while. Reach out to them. But that seems to be that tipping point, at least in the 5th District. 10 years, about 45 to 50 years old. Seems to be the point that we're starting to kind of lose those guys.
So most guys that I talk to who we end up suspending, at least what they openly share is, I've been thinking about this a while. Which means year 10, if that's the case, probably wasn't. We may have physically lost them at that point because
we lost them in year 5.
We lost them like in year 5.
Yeah.
And so then, and I really do consider losses by NPD as a failure on our part as a lodge.
Yeah.
We brought these guys in. They paid initiation fees and dues and all this, and then something happened or didn't. And I don't think we do a good job of finding that out.
No.
So hang on.
And I call it a downstream problem. We focus on the MPDs, but the real reason's upstream, right?
Uh-huh.
That's a downstream.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jack. I can smell the smoke.
Thank you. Yeah. I have to say it before I forget what I was going to say. I'm sorry. I'm so old.
No, seasoned.
Okay, now I forgot what I was going to say. It's... We tell them in the 3rd degree, and this is in the charge and it's printed, so it's not sacrosanct, right? It's generally public knowledge. But you are free to introduce any motion which you may suppose to be for the advantage or honor of the fraternity, right? You, the master mason, you can do it. It can be you. What are you waiting for?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you waiting for some committee to do it? Why are you waiting for somebody else to do it? Do it. If you see it needs to be done, bloody do it. Because that's where we are right now. If enough guys, that one thing, right? We talked about that before.
Amen.
That one thing. If there's that one thing that just eats at your heart that you just feel like needs to be done, do it. What are we waiting for?
But remember what Brian said last month. He got his degrees. He showed up like the next week after he got his degree and decided, I want to get involved. I'm going to go over to the lodge and help them clean. And the initial response he got was, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And I think...
I get it. But the response that he got, what are you doing here, came from somebody who didn't understand what the 3rd degree charge says.
Exactly.
Right?
But it is a culture thing within our lodges.
Absolutely.
That we've got to change, both with current and long-term members, as well as new guys coming in, explaining to them. We say that you're now entitled to all the rights and privileges
and responsibilities.
We don't say that, but we should.
We should.
Yes, we
and
should.
what does that mean?
You have a responsibility now.
Right.
And we don't talk about that a lot. You are now a member of this lodge, and part of that is you have some responsibility. It gets back to mentoring, making guys feel a part of the group. Some places we're doing that better than others.
Mm-hmm.
But that's always going to be true.
Writ large, we've still got an uphill climb in some places.
For sure. But I look at the hamster wheel. I'm a great believer in the hamster wheel analogy. I
can tell.
This is like the 4th time it's
come
on
it. On this episode. Have you mentioned it?
But it is, because as soon like a year or two, and the flame dies down, it can either go out or it can be reignited by somebody. But so.
And I was put in a chair probably about the first 3-4 months I came into lodge. One of the guys moved, and Jack Fritchie, rest his soul, who was a great mentor to me.
Really inconvenient when people die like that.
He was wonderful. If you ever met Jack,
no,
he was the high watermark for our lodge in terms of degree work. And he said, "Hey kid, why don't you sit as pursuant?" And that helped get me engaged. Now, not everybody wants to go in a chair, right? I mean, but
everybody wants to be called "Hey Kid."
Yeah,
but that's a different thing.
Hey, they call me the kid now. I'm 50 years old. Like I've been.
You're still the kid.
I'm the kid.
Yeah, look around.
Yeah. Well, the joke in the 5th Masonic District is I'm giving out 50-year service emblems. I'm in Oxford last year, and the gentleman goes, "District Deputy, how old are you?" And I said, "Sir, if you're asking, I was not born when you became a Mason." So this year I'll be 50. So the joke, but ask the guys, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
There's something different for everybody. I mean, we have guys that don't want to be, but I've got guys who are working in the Academy of Knowledge, the Masonic Knowledge, to be a Masonic scholar. There's something for everybody.
Yep. Indeed. And that's the key.
And that's why I look like, ask them. I know, hey, we're struggling for officers. Everybody is. But not everybody maybe wants or gauge that. Have that conversation. I'm really trying to do that. And what we talked about over at Jack's place, I send a letter to every new Mason in the 5th Masonic District after they're raised. And it's wonderful. So I did this about 2 years ago. I created a letter welcoming him to the fraternity, our great district, introducing myself as district deputy. I hope this journey is as fulfilling for you as it has been for me. Just a nice welcome letter. And I also put in the master builder award criteria in there, even though they should be, ideally, their mentor should be talking with this, but I'm a firm believer in this. And our number of awards over the last several years have really gone up. Guys doing it. And those guys that do those awards stick.
Exactly.
They stay.
Oh, it's a wonderful program. Best program ever put out by
I trumpet every one of my newsletters. I have a section in there. Here's upcoming events that meet the criteria. These guys, I said, when they do that program, they see all this fraternity has to offer at the lodge level, the district, and the Grand Lodge level. So I also include that, but I followed up with a phone call. And these guys, they hear the name District Deputy. I'm like, you guys are really more impressed with me than I am with myself. But but I ask them, what brings you to Freemasonry? What are you looking to do? And just have a nice, just open-ended conversation with them. And I may go back to some of the lodges and say, hey, you've got this guy in there. He really loves maybe that esoteric side, or then, hey, let's introduce him to the Academy of Masonic Knowledge. Maybe let's challenge them to do a 10-minute program in your lodge. Find out what gets them kind of excited to be a Mason. And then what we're doing, we have a brother out of Westchester Lodge. We've created a kind of cohort program in the 5th District. So we looked at all the brothers that were raised within the last maybe year to 24 months. We're kind of getting them together, getting them to travel together, start going to events. We're going to take them up to the Masonic Temple, do a tour up there, but creating like a cohort program. So these young guys, they have some people they can kind of lean on and ask questions as well. So we just kind of started that up.
They do that. Our friends down at Amicable St. John's, I think they still do it. They have a class of new members, and they come in and kind of as a team, and they go through the degrees as a team, and they come out as a team.
We're working on the activities.
And then they end
together,
up being
builders.
officers together as a team, and that's a great program.
We've just kind of kicked it off. So we started maybe just a couple months ago. So I'm curious to see as we track those guys the next couple of years along the Masonic journey, are they sticking, and are they also getting into some officer chairs as well?
I'm convinced that, to your previous point, if every new Mason coming in the state of Pennsylvania, and I'm sure this would hold for whatever jurisdiction you're in, find this similar type of program, or if not, copy ours and create it in your own lodge. If every new Mason coming in as a new initiate would complete the Master Builder program, we wouldn't see that disconnect.
No.
Because there's enough stuff, and it's not hard. It's not hard, but there's enough of variety there that it gets them involved, it gets them engaged. To a person, almost every new person coming into my lodge will contact me around the first of the year and say, I'm working on my Master Builder program. When can I start calling the non-payment of dues guys? Mm-hmm. Which is great for me. As a secretary, to
farm that out.
So like,
that was a secretly really clever
You could call
idea.
today.
How about like tomorrow?
And here's 60 names.
Yeah. No, I give them 10. I give them 10.
Yeah.
Call these guys. Keep calling until they answer the phone. Leave them a message. Tell them to call you back. And what do I say? Tell them. Just be honest. I'm a brand new Mason in your lodge, and I want to meet you. I would like to learn from you. Right now, we're concerned because you haven't paid your dues yet, but we would love to have you come back. Something as simple as that. And to a person, they do it, they complete it.
And they feel enriched for
exactly.
it. Right?
Exactly.
They really do.
Yeah.
All of them that do it say like, wow, that was really cool.
That was easier than I thought
talked to
it
a
was
couple
gonna be.
really cool guys. There was this one guy who blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, that's
when we
why
get-
we're here, bro.
And when we get the awards, I present them at our district visitation in front of 70 or 80 guys.
Yeah.
I call them up, make a huge deal
Yep.
about it. And you can see their chest puff out.
Oh, man, it's
and they
great.
love it. And then the other guys go, oh, I don't know about that. What's
What
that?
is
And then
it?
I
What
have a
is it?
chance to talk about the Master Craftsman Award.
I'm
Hey, guys,
sorry you don't qualify.
Yeah. Your first 12 months, you're out.
So
But
we had a worshipful master, I don't know, 4 masters ago, I guess it was, who really wanted to focus in on the Master Craftsman and Master Pillar Awards. And he wanted to he goes, I'm going to set a record.
I want all the awards.
And so he basically got all of the past masters and then all of the guys that attend regularly but maybe aren't past masters. And he says, my challenge to you is I want you to get these. And I think we ended up giving out 27 of them during
That's
his
ridiculous,
year,
right?
which is ridiculous. And it still holds the record, I think, for the most.
I have a secretary or our treasurer in our home lodge, 86 years young.
Uh-huh.
I said, Brother Ted, he travels everywhere with me.
Yeah.
He lives 5 minutes away. He comes. I said, you've met all the criteria of the Master Craftsman Award. Why haven't you completed this? So we sat down. I filled it out. I sent it up. And Brother Mark called me. He goes, is this guy really 86?
Yeah.
I think he's the oldest recipient
of the Master Craftsman
And I presented
Award.
that to him. And just a standing ovation. I mean, it made the guy feel just really special. I mean, he's donated, given a lifetime to this fraternity, 50 years.
That's it.
And even that simple award like that, just, wonderful, wonderful man. But
And the Grand Lodge has done a much better job of making those resources available online. I realize, I used to say, the older guys don't get online. That's not true.
Oh, they read my newsletter more than anybody.
Exactly.
They do.
Well, because you also get the return.
Yeah, you need to put your newsletter on X.
Yeah.
And then it'll be read.
Right.
30-something. Yeah.
So anyway, that's,
All right. Well, let's take another quick break. I think Josh wants to jam in another advertisement here. Josh.
Yep. We got one more to do.
We're good? All right.
And we'll come back and wrap up with Eric Downs.
As far back as the mid-1800s, records exist describing the pre-meeting tradition of brethren smoking cigars during and after gatherings. To this day, the practice of smoking cigars remains very much alive in many lodges. This custom is considered a time for brethren to relax, exchange ideas, and enjoy the simplicity and fellowship that is the very essence of our brotherhood. This is what Hiram Solomon Cigars is all about. Our starting principles are to bring Masonic brethren together in the harmony of a good cigar. Pull up a chair, sit back, light up any of our premium cigars, and enjoy the history. Hiram Solomon Cigars can be found at fine cigar retailers. For a complete list, visit HiramSolomonCigars.com or check them out on social media to find out when they'll be at a live event near you. Hiram Solomon Cigars is pleased to be the official cigar of the Masonic Light Podcast.
Hello, brethren. Dutchy Doug is here with another story from my lodge, The Broken Claw, number 377. Recently, we have been hearing a lot of stuff from Grand Lodge about how we are to support the Masonic youth groups. Now, I will be the first to say that these groups like D Malay, Rainbow for Girls, and Job's Daughters are wonderful good organizations that do wonderfully good stuff for youth around Pennsylvania and the entire United States. But for whatever reason, Grand Lodge never shows any love to our local youth group, the Order of Pastorius. Now, I know many of you just heard that and raised an eyebrow or two. The Order of what? Let me enlighten you. Back in the early 1800s, our forefathers here in our beautiful valley started a youth group and named it in honor of Daniel Pastorius. Mr. Pastorius led the first group of Pennsylvania Dutch immigrants to Pennsylvania in 1683 and founded Germantown just outside of Philadelphia. Daniel was a man of faith, integrity, and had a straw hat full of courage. Now, old brother Josiah Grinder decided way back in 1833, the 50th anniversary of Pastorius' arrival, to create a Masonic youth group after him. I bet this is all news to you guys, but as you know, not much gets out of our little valley very often. The Order of Pastorius is very much alive today with the one and only chapter in its organization. They meet in the basement of the Broken Plow on Tuesday nights. Now, as you can guess, the lessons taught in our group do have a little bit of a Pennsylvania Dutch bent given the makeup of the group. If you're familiar with DMLA, you know that there are vows of a DMLA member. Well, we too have our own Pastorius vows. They are: I promise to be a hard worker of the earth and to never kill a groundhog. I promise to love and serve God, my Pennsylvania Dutch heritage, and my fellow Pennsylvania Dutch brothers. I promise to eat pork and sauerkraut on every New Year. I promise to pay homage to the Belschnickel every December. And I promise to walk the road down in an uprightly manner. Our group has many outings throughout the year that usually involve helping older citizens in our valley. Last year they weeded Old Man Giesema's garden, helped Frau Hollenbach can her tomatoes, raked Mr. Driesbach's leaves, and aided in St. Jacob's Lutheran's Church Apple Butter Festival. The group really is a great place for our young boys to meet and become leaders in our community. You will never see a member of the Order of Pastorius sitting around on their cell phones like all the other kids. You will most likely see them out helping someone in need. Maybe in the future our boys can have a joint session with some DMLA boys. We'll bring the red beet eggs. Till next time, work hard, stay plumb, and out in the lights when you leave the room. To learn more about the Pennsylvania Dutch language, culture, and history, please visit my website, padutch101.com, or my YouTube channel. Just search for Doug Mainford or PA Dutch 101. Follow along on Instagram, Facebook, and X as well.
And we're back. It was a little bit of a longer break than usual, at least for us. For you, it was only for you all only like 30 seconds.
It's like time travel,
right?
Whoa.
Yeah. What? All right. So, Eric, you've got some stuff coming up in your district. Why don't you take this opportunity to promote that?
Oh, absolutely. You know me. I'm always selling something.
Yep.
No, not you.
Well, I talked about the ladies' night June 7th, but we have a district visitation coming up, which would be Wednesday, June 5th at Oxford Lodge number 353.
Okay.
So because this is going to be out there on the interwebs for thousands of years.
What year?
It's 2024.
2024. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
So we did this last year, and we had 105 guys there for the district visitation. So our goal this year is to have about 150 guys there, and the more the merrier. But we brought last year the District Deputy Grand Master from the 3rd Masonic District of Prince Hall, Senior Grand Warden from Prince Hall, and it looks like we're 90% sure I'm going to get the Grand Master of Prince Hall there for this district visitation. And
Eric, hang on. We need to teach you to aim low and exceed your expectations.
All right, I'm looking for 75 guys.
What date is this meeting?
Wednesday, June 5th. And I'll have brother James Hamby, my traveling partner in crime. If you've seen us on the Masonic Passport page, we have a Where in the World are Jim and Eric posts.
Uh-huh.
We've been traveling together for 5-6 years.
So if you pray for rain and it happens, I'll be there.
Dude, bring it. I'd love to have
my
you.
daughter's scheduled to graduate from high school that night, but if it rains,
I mean, come on,
I'll come down. I'm not missing my daughter's graduation. So if it rains like crazy on the 5th,
Tim, let me talk to you for a minute.
I'll come down there. I've got the rain dates reserved. So
please, we'd love to have you.
That'd be great. So also, let me, by the way, not only on behalf of my lodge, Eureka West Shore Lodge number 302 Mechanicsburg, but I'll speak for my district deputy.
Shameless plug.
Come to the 3rd district on the first Monday of any month, except for September. We do it on Tuesday because of Labor Day. Come visit us and we'll return the favor.
We would love to do an invasion up there.
Our top, so over the years, the largest group we've had on it for my lodge alone has been 36.
Oh, we got you.
So we'd love to bring about that many.
I would love to. And we've
from my lodge.
Look, let me tell you, God bless my wife. We had the 5th Masonic District picnic at my home last year.
Cool.
And we had 100-something people there.
Nice.
So July 28th, which I believe is a Sunday, check me. We're having it again this year.
That's a Sunday.
All are welcome. 2 to whenever. Cigars, a few beverages. There is a pool. Bring your Speedo.
Oh, gosh. Not sure I want to
Cannonball
see that.
contest starts at 9.
Sure I want to see that. I'll bring my baby Ruth and throw it in the middle of the pool.
That's a funny, you say that. I'll master the lodge in 2018. We do a picnic at my house. My friend's daughter goes in the pool. I'm cooking burgers at the grill. I see everybody getting out of the pool.
Duty!
She's 5 years old. I see
no.
They got over, fished it out, threw it over the fence. She comes up to me and I said, Ivy, what happened? And she went, I don't understand. I farted and it slipped out. And the place just roared.
Oh, no.
So she shuts down the pool for our party. The next year, we have this party.
Do we really want this on the internet
Dude,
for 1,000 years?
The next,
no, Josh.
Dude, this is fantastic.
Actually, we have to record this
Josh,
when she's 16.
This is fantastic. The next year,
It's going to be at her wedding.
the next year, she comes to our picnic and she goes, Mr. Eric, I have something for you. And she hands me a bag of Tootsie Rolls.
Oh.
Good for her. Well played, young lady. Well played.
And it was absolutely priceless. So July 28th, my house. We'd love to have you.
Very cool.
Have
All
you
right.
changed the water?
We're not going to tell you where, but that's Eric's house.
Yeah. Contact me.
All right.
So, Josh, what have you got coming up Masonically in the next couple of weeks?
In the futures past, I will be attending the Past Masters dinner with
You will be.
Yes.
Jack, and we will be guests of Tim.
Huzzah.
And which past Masters dinner is that?
Eureka.
No.
Oh, damn. Third Masonic District.
There you go.
Sorry. Where are we driving to? Yeah,
Carlisle.
Okay. I know where that's at.
You should probably send us an address or something.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Address and a time would be really
If you're
I
open
was
my
gonna
lodge,
be-
you're going to be alone that night.
Yeah, I was going to be alone probably. I'm glad I checked.
in the parking lot.
In the parking lot. That's right. Jack.
Well, looking at this, I got with Josh. I'll be at the Past Master Center. There is a an extra meeting on the 23rd. I'll probably miss that. Ubar or something is
Next Sunday.
Sunday the 26th.
The day before this episode drops.
Ubar. I have an extra meeting on the 29th. I will be conferring a third degree. So if anybody wants to see it done correctly, come to Effort Lodge on the 29th.
Ooh.
I've seen Jack do a degree.
I have Cincinnati's Council AMD on the 31st, I think. Josh, yes.
Nope.
Shh. Okay, we're not allowed to talk about that. And the rest of you, none of your business.
All right. So, from a personal standpoint, a couple of things coming up. Obviously, the District 3 Past Masters dinner that will have occurred by the time you hear this. I will be attending the Grand Lodge Communication in Erie, Pennsylvania. I'll be there the 31st and 1st and probably leaving sometime on the 2nd, I hope. And then the next day on the 3rd will be our June meeting of Eureka West Shore Lodge number 302. I love having our meetings that early in the month.
Yeah.
Because then you get to hear everybody else moaning and groaning about getting ready for a meeting, and you're like, hey, we're done.
That's us. We're the first Thursday at Kennett Lodge.
We're
It's
done.
wonderful.
I love it. I love having meetings that first week of the month. Jack.
I'm just freaking out, Josh. I play with the microphones just to get the expression on Josh's face. Sorry.
Jack's playing Darth Vader over there. All right, so some Masonic Light podcast opportunities coming up on, let's see, what comes up first here. On June the 15th, I believe Larry's going to be at the Valley of Reading Cigar and Steak event with the Grand Smoke. Talk to Larry. He might record something. He might not. But that'll be on June the 15th. On July the 12th, the Valley of Harrisburg Golf Outing supporting the Dyslexia Center in Harrisburg will occur. I understand we might have some openings for that. Jack, is that correct?
Yes. Sadly, I will be unable to attend
so if
that
you're
particular meeting.
If you're interested in being on the Masonic Light podcast team,
and have a handicap less than 3.
and can have a halfway decent, not only love golf but can actually play it.
That describes me.
Yeah, that's right, Josh.
Wait, when is that?
July the 12th. Is
July
that
the 12th?
Is that a Friday?
June 12th or July? Yeah, I'll be.
Yeah. It's only been up on our board for 3 months.
I have grandchild duty. Just leave me alone.
I understand.
Ew.
If you're interested, send an email to masoniclightpodcast@gmail.com, and we might consider you for that. We will be at the Keyman Conference in E-Town on August, whatever that Wednesday is, I believe is the date.
Yeah, I'll be up there for the week.
Will you?
Yeah.
Cool. You have to join
Absolutely.
us that night.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely a fabulous time. We actually do a live recording, and that is so cool.
I will be in Atlanta at a trade show.
Good grief. You got to get your priorities.
Y'all
straight,
have
Jack.
fun.
All right.
So no,
You and me,
it's
sailor.
usually the third week in August.
No, it's not.
No.
It's always-
My trade show
Oh.
is usually the third week in
They're not
August
allowed to change it.
at the World Congress Center in Atlanta.
All
And
right.
guess what's happening the third week of September of August in the World Congress Center in Atlanta? It's the Democratic National Convention. So they bumped us
Damn it.
up to the first week in August, and that ruins it for
I hate
everybody.
that.
I'm
sucks.
so sorry for everyone because I'll miss your party at Keyman.
So on August the 17th, for those of you who are of the AMD world,
wow, who's writing this down? Is anybody writing this down?
I'm recording it so you can hit the rewind
Why?
button.
No, it's so boring.
August the 17th, there is
Oh,
a
my
statewide
God.
AMD gathering
I'm having
in Macungie at Lehigh Lodge. All of this is available on our website, and it's also available on our Facebook page. And then August the 24th, the Valley of Harrisburg barbecue, which will be awesome. Please come to that. And I think that's our summer activities. I think we have another episode in studio in a couple of weeks. We won't give too much of that away, but that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
It's
and
a
then
secret.
we're going to do this series of summer activities that we've got. And at some point along the way, we'll all get together and piece them together and create episodes over the summer. So anyway, looking forward to that. And Larry, we miss you. We need you to get back.
Are we gonna hold the door?
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Hold the door.
Yeah, I need to pump the brakes.
Pump
Jack,
those brakes.
What do we need to do?
Well, Tim, honestly, I think it's time for Copious Dues. Yeah. We're here to see how much our guest, Eric, the man Downs,
The myth, the legend.
the
Man,
man,
the myth, the legend.
and the legend,
I thought I peaked being district
A
deputy.
legend.
I peaked tonight.
a legend in his own mind, Eric.
His own zip code.
We're going to see how much Eric Downs, District Deputy Grand Master
District 5.
of District 5.
The fifth. That's not a district.
The fifth. Yeah, we know about those fifths, don't we? Yes, we do. We're going to see how much you pay in Copious Dues. So, tonight, the game is we have to guess how much you pay every year in Copious Dues, not including banquets and
Raffles.
one-time
Raffle
raffles,
tickets.
all
Raffle
that
ticket, yeah,
other kind of nonsense that probably triples this number.
Exactly.
We want to know how much you pay for Copious Dues. So you're going to hold on to that number.
I got it.
Lock it in
I
your
got
brain.
it.
Lock it down.
I got it.
Lock it down. And we're going to say, Josh.
$1,285.49.
He nailed it on the penny.
On the wow. All right, you're disqualified. That's the big D for you, Josh. Tim, how much do you think Eric pays every year for Copious Dues?
So I'm disappointed that I didn't poke around a little more.
There was some sussing that could have been done.
There was. I got some sussing, some info earlier, but I'm going to say I'm going to go low. I'm going to go low.
As you are wont.
I'm going to say $625.
$625. Now, so that leaves just me.
Yes.
And I'm going to study Eric's face for a moment and say
Face built for radio.
Oh, damn. What'd you say? 625?
Yep.
I'm gonna say 600 and no, because you're a Templar. So and you're a shrine.
And that.
2, 3, 4, 5,
Scottish
this.
right.
And carry the one.
High 12.
Carry the one.
$703.
All right. To review.
Tell us, Tim, what are those scores?
Tim says $625.
$625.
Jack says $703.
$723.
And Josh says $1,285.49.
$1,089 and some number of cents. And Eric, tell us in your own words, what do you pay every year in copious dues?
What I tell my wife or what I actually pay?
No, this is the actual number. She's not listening. Don't worry.
Now, I added this up on my phone.
Okay.
$725.
Bam!
Wow.
Twice.
That's 2 in a row, Jack.
Brother Harley.
I have figured
the win.
the scoop out.
See, I thought for sure you were going to
Huzzah.
split the difference and go like 850.
I could have been over,
I did.
but I'm not. All right.
All
Well,
right.
thank you for playing our game. And now, Josh,
Larry.
Tim,
Larold.
Jack.
I don't really have anything to say.
Who's having pot pie?
Thanks to Everett Lodge number 665 for allowing us to use this crazy space and Dewey Cheatham and Howe and Click and Clack, the Taffer Brothers. And I don't know what. There's water all over the men's room. I don't know what's going on here. Am I leaking? I have to go pee. This is George Grove.
We miss you, Larry. Come on back.
This is Tim.
And Jack.
And Josh.
And Eric. Thank you, brothers.
Attaboy.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.